Ugh. Sorry about that. What a way to start. What a way to start. Oh, and we left the sound on. Things are going splendid already. Let's see if we can get this to pull up too. There we go. Alright. Got all the chats up. Make sure you guys are dropping a like, subscribing, following. Should be an alright episode. Not too much is going on today. But yeah, we'll hop into it. We've got some interesting things going on in the public culture space that we're going to talk about today, because it is an issue and it needs to be addressed, truly. But we'll hop into that in a second. But yeah, today is Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026. This is episode number 119 of Addressing the Issues. I guess we'll start off first with Representative Andy Ogles, who went back on his stellar post yesterday. If you don't recall, I can pull it back up. It's posted onto his page, his Congress social media. Let me see if I can find it. It said, homosexuality has no place in America. Happy Nuclear Family Month. Great post, right? Well, apparently not so much. So he goes back on it and issues a statement. He says, earlier today, while working on the farm, my phone began going crazy because of a post made by a member of my comms team. The post was stupid, hurtful, and a complete distraction from my America First focus. The employee has been reprimanded. I hope you reprimanded him with a hefty bonus. It was a great post. Why would you delete it? Why did you delete it? Who actually cares? Leave it up. But now, when given the opportunity to double down on common sense, we back into a corner and decide to reprimand the comms team. Of course. It's like, I hope he was reprimanded with like a large bonus. A lot of money. Hopefully an all expenses paid vacation as well. Hopefully that's the reprimanding. But no, you're never going to win a culture war like this. Never will. There's no chance when given the opportunity to double down on common sense, you decide, you know what, the crazy people are right again. It's like, no. But speaking of culture, there is something going on in America that needs to be talked about. And this is the pineapple Kool-Aid. My goodness, what an abomination people are eating these days. This can only be attributed to like post-cuisine America. We are beyond eating regular food. Beyond creating normal food, we have entered into this dystopian era where we're making pineapple Kool-Aid. Seemingly how this is done is you go buy a container of pineapple, like the long ones, not diced, not crushed, but just like long strips of pineapple. And then you proceed to pour a pack of Kool-Aid into them. Because there wasn't enough sugar in the syrup already, there is a need to add Kool-Aid. Sometimes a citrusy fruit, apparently that makes it better. And sugar. Apparently sugar is also added to what is actually like almost entirely sugar in the syrup. But no, we have reached like a post-cuisine point in this country where we are dumping sugar into sugar water to change the flavor of pineapple. And it's beyond bizarre. This is the breaking point of American culture. It's like, yeah, American food sucks because we make it suck. We're literally putting Kool-Aid into a container of pineapple, and then people are buying it. People are actually spending, whether it be their money or like money that they've got from selling their food stamps or something, on this. It's like, what are we doing here? And you know the CIA is absolutely pissed off right now. It's like, why did we have to establish a multi-continental drug network to bring crack into the neighborhoods to ruin people's lives when all we had to do was go to Walmart and buy a box of pineapple, like a jug of pineapple, and dump Kool-Aid in it? We didn't even have to establish a multinational drug cartel to bring cocaine in, to cook it into crack. We could have just simply went to Walmart and bought Kool-Aid in containers of pineapple and mixed them and gave everybody diabetes. Like, that's all we had to do. Like, the CIA is pissed at this development. It's like, how much easier would it have been to get a government contract with a pineapple producer and Kool-Aid and just give everybody diabetes instead of a crack addiction? The result will be the same. But no, I mean, this is the worst. I was going to say the greatest, but it's the worst food production in American history. It's absurd. It's like, as in the description, as the late great Nikola Tesla may or may not have said, at least it's attributed to him, you may live to see man-made horrors beyond your comprehension. Kool-Aid pineapple is the man-made horror beyond anyone's comprehension. It's like, this is disgusting. This is the fast pass to diabetes, yet apparently this is the fad for the summer. This is how you know. This is how you know we're coming up on a white boy summer. When people are willing to give their lives to diabetes to eat Kool-Aid pineapples or whatever the hell it is. Disgusting. Disgusting. Like, stop. Just stop. You are literally doing what the CIA tried to do when they established the cocaine trade to cook crack in your neighborhoods. Now you're just developing it at Walmart and then having the same result, which is death. Absolutely absurd stuff. We're not beating any of the accusations here with this one. We're just not. This is the decline of American culture. Truly. Like, we used to have great music, great food. I would argue the best food in the world. And then now we have pineapple Kool-Aid. Just had to be addressed. Why? Just why? Like, why is this happening? This is like post-Americana cuisine. Americana post-cuisine. It's abysmal. There's no good way to put it. I could rant on that for probably an hour. But it's like, why? We're going to stop giving it attention. But when you do see that, like, I've seen it in places that I actually recognized before. I was like, why are you guys doing this to yourself? It's like, we beat crack and now we're eating pineapple Kool-Aid, which will probably kill us in a shorter amount of time. I've seen people that smoke crack and are productive. I've never seen a person that eats that crap that is productive. I hate to break it to everyone. Everyone I've seen looks like an absolute deadbeat that is eating that stuff. It's like, maybe be a productive crackhead instead. It may be better for your health. Truly. Truly. I have nothing good to say about the pineapple Kool-Aid. Nothing good at all. It's like the crack epidemic was healthier than this. Truly. You're probably better off smoking crack than eating pineapple Kool-Aid, whatever. But we'll move on. I said I would. But I also said I could go on this for an hour, and it would be fun, but we'll move on. There's more prevalent news than our declining culture, which we experience every single day here in America. So we've also got some of the results of yesterday's primary elections. Of course, Los Angeles is still counting. You'd think you could get the votes counted a little bit quicker. You'd think so, but we're sitting currently at about 60% of votes in. It's like, how? There are countries that can do this in less amount of time with a greater population that's more spread out. Like, it's truly abysmal. And I don't know whether to attribute it to the Smartmatic voting machines that apparently only Los Angeles uses. We know how we feel about the Smartmatic voting machines. The Smartmatic voting machines from Venezuela, because if you want to rig an election, ask Maduro. It worked out for him often. But yeah, I don't know what to think of that. Apparently Karen Bass will be moving on to the general election. Spencer Pratt is still ahead of Nithya Raman. But we're sitting at 60% votes in, and it's almost an entire 24 hours later. It's like you probably could have got like 3 well-functioning people to count paper ballots faster than you're getting them in from these voting machines. So I'm like a little bit, iffy if Smartmatic's still being used to rig elections. I'm not saying that they are, but I'm not saying they haven't done it before either. I think we've all heard about 2020. But it's like you could probably do this a little bit faster, even by hand. It's like the timeline to figure out the hanging chads thing in Florida may be quicker than a primary election in Los Angeles County. But yeah, shout out Smartmatic, everyone's favorite voting machine. Don't rig any elections here, please. If you notice that Nithya Raman shoots up like 100,000 votes instantly, Smartmatic may be at it again. They may be back at it again. But I don't know. I think it's really weird that it takes so long for one county to hold a mayor election. It's like, does it really take this long? Could we not just do paper ballots? They'd be counted faster than this. Like, is your internet slow? The Wi-Fi's down in Los Angeles? Possibly. It's the only explanation I can think of. That or it's being rigged currently. They're putting in the right code for who's supposed to win. That's also an option. But we'll move on. We have more primary news today. The first President Trump endorsed candidate within the United States lost their primary to a farmer in the gubernatorial election of Iowa last night. Like I said earlier, those endorsements at this point mean nothing. They really should be the kiss of death for your political career at this point. But we're still endorsing candidates, and the first one finally loses within the United States. Now, it is the kiss of death when you get endorsed by President Trump in any other country's election. That's just a fact. It turned out that way in Hungary. I believe in one more European nation in the last year. But a farmer beats your guy, Trump. I wonder if there's like a scathing Truth Social post about like how bad the farmers are, that they would vote for a farmer. I kind of wonder. We could check, but I don't want to go through that madness right now. He's been a little deranged on there recently, if anybody's noticed. There was like I believe, what was it? Like 100 posts or something within an hour or something like that yesterday or the day before. It's like, I don't want to go through all that right now. But I'm sure there's something about how the farmers are terrible now, and my guy should have won because I endorsed him and all that madness. But apparently he was a friend of Charlie Kirk. So that's pretty neat. Charlie was a trustworthy guy in most politics. There were some things, he strayed away from at the end that may or may not have cost him his life, but that's here nor there. Is there anything else prevalent to this? Apparently he's a Christian as well, so that's good. We need more Christians in politics, like actually faithful Christians, not ones that are Christian in name only. We need more good people, honest people in politics. I'd trust a farmer. It's like, I think that's probably how most court cases should be settled these days. Each side just goes out, tells a farmer they're part of the story. He listens, tends his crops, herds his cattle, and then gives you an answer at the end. I think that would be much more effective than our current judicial system. So maybe more farmers in politics just isn't a bad idea. Maybe it's not. Probably is a really good idea, come to think of it. But yeah, President Trump lost his first endorsed candidate, which is probably earth-shattering for him at this point. Let's see, what else do we have? I think we'll move on to war, because that's all we get these days. Would you like cheap gas? Would you like a golden age? No, you will have war. So it's being reported that Iran used 13 drones and 17 missiles to attack the Kuwait International Airport. It's being reported that one person has died as a result, and over 60 others have been injured. Now lots of people, not peoples, whoa, pineapple Kool-Aid. Lots of people are drawing parallels to the Gulf War of 1991, where airports were targets during attacks, targets of the war, which is alarming, especially given that there are a lot more players in this war than just in the Gulf War. I mean, it's actually everybody involved and more now, because everybody's vying for power in the Middle East. It's not just Iran and Israel. Saudi Arabia wants the project power. The UAE wants the project power. Qatar wants the project power. Everybody does. Oman wants to. Iran still tries to. Syria would like to. I mean, everybody. So, the normalization of attacks on civilian airports is rather alarming. It's like, how much more of this do we need to pay for? Because we'll be paying the reparations at the end of this, more than likely, just because why not? It's like, we'll do it, and then we won't even stand on business that we did it. We'll say, oh, we're so sorry. Well, we're so sorry that your airports got blown up during this. We'll fix it. We'll pay for it. We'll take on the debt for you. You're welcome. Because that's how this always works out. But it is rather alarming that airports are being targeted, hubs for international transit, particularly the Kuwait International Airport, which has lots of people coming in and out for work from other countries, particularly in the oil industry. And then you sever one more crucial component of the oil industry, which is the component of labor, and then oil prices continue to rise. So that international travel gets blocked even more than it already is. I mean, it's just not stellar. It's not stellar that this is occurring. You also have the news that the International Atomic Energy Agency claims that Iran is more likely to create a nuclear weapon now than they were before the start of the war. And it's like anybody with a functioning brain could have told you this, especially with the actions you took, deciding, instead of just leaving the last Ayatollah who issued a fatwa against Iran ever creating a nuclear weapon, a religious decree in the most religious-based society probably on the planet right now, likely is. But he said, no, it is against our morals as Muslims to create a nuclear weapon. And the fatwa lasts only as long as the Ayatollah lasts. When he dies, the fatwas are all gone, meaning when he died, the ban on production of nuclear weapons was no longer a thing. And now we would, I guess, need to convince the current Ayatollah, after we killed his father and multiple of his family members, that no, you should issue a statement, you should issue a decree that you shouldn't create nuclear weapons again because it worked out so well for the last guy. I mean, of course they're more likely to create a nuclear weapon now. The only thing stopping them is gone now. The fatwa's over, and it's like really hard to explain that to an American population, many of which who have no religion whatsoever. But it's like, how could I explain this in terms of... It's like if the Vatican said that you can no longer create a nuclear weapon as a Christian, and it's like, okay, well... And you were an entirely Catholic nation. You go, okay, well, if we are Catholic and the leader of our church says we can no longer do this, we should probably not do this. That's probably the best explanation you could give, the closest. But no, we're giving them every reason to. I mean, why would you not want the insurance policy of being nuclearly armed so that if somebody does attack you and it becomes a threat to your existence, you can fight that off? I mean, at this point, it only would make sense that they're closer or more likely to. It's like they want an insurance policy so that this doesn't continue to happen, because it surely will as soon as they give it up. And for some reason, we're like, oh my goodness, they're more likely now. Like, of course they are. Why wouldn't they be? It's the only thing that could keep them safe from countries in the region at this point, from the U.S., as if they could exhibit mutually assured destruction. The mad doctrine. But yeah, I mean, is anybody surprised? You get rid of the one hold on nuclear weapons, which was the fatwa, kill the last leader, meaning it's gone, and then are choking off their entire country, their economy, and it's like, of course they're looking to do this. Why would they not? They think it's existential for them to do so. But yeah, we'll move on from Iran. We have, I guess, a loosely related story I found very, very funny. So, an Israeli delegate to the United Nations went in carrying one of Hezbollah's FPV drones. And he's in there complaining that they're impossible to shoot down and you can't hear them until they're over your head, and then it already is too late. Like, he's literally in there complaining about this, about Hezbollah using these, when I think everybody is pretty sure Israel uses very similar tactics with FPV drones. Like, we've seen it on social media. But it's just so rich. Like, first it was the cluster bombs, which are being used by both sides. Now it's FPV drones, which are being used by both sides. And it's like, this is unfair. Like, is nobody allowed to defend themselves against you? They just have to, like, come out with clubs and rocks, and you guys will bring missiles and helicopters, and they're just supposed to, like, fight back that way? Is that what we really expect out of this? Seemingly, yes. Seemingly, you are not allowed to fight back. Like, that is a war crime, fighting back using the same tactics. Like, next time get some boulders and start chucking them at us, because that's the only fair way to fight, apparently. I mean, the whole thing's a mess. The whole thing is a mess. It's like, you've got to be consistent. If you're going to use them, you can't then go complain to the UN that the other side is using very similar technology. It doesn't work. It's war. War is hell. The Middle East is hell in general, but that's a different story for a different time. Let's see, what else do we have? There's also the Russia-Ukraine war, which has had some interesting things going on there as well. So Russia unleashed multiple 3M-22 Zircon hypersonic cruise missiles on Kyiv. This is the second type of hypersonic missile that has been used during this war by Russia. If you don't recall, they used I believe it was called the Orezhnik, if I'm not mistaken, which was a cluster hypersonic missile that was not loaded with explosives. They just wanted to show it off, say, we have this if you want to keep playing around like you are. So Russia shows that off. Now they have shown off the 3M-22 Zircon cruise missile, which is every bit just as horrifying. You can find it on X. I'm not going to show it because it was a very devastating attack in which it was used on. But the hypersonic missiles, absurd. I mean, war is hell, and you may live to see man-made horrors beyond your comprehension. I can't even comprehend this stuff. Like, it's too fast. You can't even shoot it down. It's like, what do you do? Just, like, watch it hit you in the chest? I guess that's the answer. Just absolutely horrifying stuff. But Ukraine, in retaliation, sent drones to St. Petersburg hours before the beginning of the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, which began today. Putin is set to attend there, along with visitors from around the world. They call it Russia's version of Davos. So apparently some big players from around the world are all there, and Ukraine decided to launch a drone attack there in retaliation. And there's even Americans there right now in St. Petersburg. It's like, I guess display your force, put fear in the Putin. I don't know if that's going to get you to win the war. I think he's just going to be really mad now, but that's my opinion. Maybe that happens and he appreciates it or something. I can't imagine you appreciate having drones shot at your global event where you're trying to put on a good look and get investment from around the world. Probably don't want drones flying into it and exploding, but yeah, we'll see how that works out over there. Let's see what else is going on today. There were a couple executive orders signed. I didn't have time to write them all down. I was hoping that they'd post them somewhere. I can check and see if the White House decided to do something of that manner. But yeah, that's hopefully all the war talk we'll have to have today. Yeah, there's a live stream that was long and boring and I didn't want to listen to, honestly, but President Trump was signing executive orders today. So there are those. I could probably look them up on AI and something like that. Doesn't really matter. They'll probably be struck down within a month anyways, because that's just how this nation rolls. Did anybody else find it funny that both President Trump and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had a interview with the press after their phone call, and they both go, Trump really chewed me out, and he's like, oh yeah, I had to tell him how it was. And it's just like, this is a play. This is like watching a theater production of Shakespeare. It's like, and people believe it. They think it's real life. It's like, no, this isn't real. This is an act. They are putting on an act for you. And you're believing it, which is, I mean, honorable, I guess. Apparently, other news, there's a couple smaller other stories we'll get into before the good news. It says the FBI says that 2 NIH researchers were charged with conspiring to smuggle monkeypox into the United States. Neat. Because, hantavirus and Ebola weren't enough. We probably need monkeypox too. I mean, that's neat. There's a report out of CBS that Americans' financial literacy slumps to a 10-year low, new study finds. Probably. I don't think COVID did anything helping people learn math. It's like one of these questions here. I'll read it to you. It says, Jose owes $1,000 on a loan that has an interest rate of 20% per year compounded annually. If he makes no payments on the loan at this interest rate, how many years will it take for the amount he owes to double? The answers are A, less than 5 years, B, 5 to 10 years, C, more than 10 years, D, don't know. So there's only 3 actual choices here, and only one of these actually makes sense. If it wasn't compounded annually, it would take 5 years. But since it is, it's less than 5 years if he's not paying anything back. It's like these aren't even hard. And apparently people can't get these right. Like, guys, common sense here. Like, literally basic arithmetic. And we're struggling. There's also news out of Florida that they are going after the organizers. The Attorney General is looking into the organizers of the teen takeovers that are absolutely abhorrent. The pineapple Kool-Aid culture have been shooting each other at teen takeovers in the streets. There's been lots of talk about whether it should be classified as rioting, what it should be. Is it a protest? No, it's not. They're just clogging up the streets and doing burnouts and intersections, and they result in shootings at the end. That's how most of them end. It's like a track meet starts with a gunshot. A teen takeover ends with multiple gunshots. And sadly, the death of a Florida kid, 17 years old. Actually, apparently he's only hospitalized, but still a tragic incident. And it's like, why are we allowing this to continue? We shouldn't. It's like, maybe send them to summer school so they don't fail the financial literacy test. Maybe. That might be a good start. It's like, if we're not passing that question, we don't need to be out of school at all. Like, school's in for the summer this year. I hate to break it to you. Let's see, is there anything else that I've missed today? Seemingly no, not really. Just lots and lots of drama, lots of words, no action. It's kind of like the show. It's like, I'm not voting in Congress. I'll vote come my primaries. I'll vote come November, but unfortunately I'm not allowed to write the laws yet. If I was, give me like 30 minutes. We can fix this place. Just 30 minutes of pure power. This place is fixed. Like, a couple executive orders. It's easy. It's easy. Place would look like a utopia in 30 minutes. You'd be surprised how easy it could be if we just decided to fix our problems here. I think the first one would be, outlawing the pineapple Kool-Aid diabetes farm. That's number one. It's like, if you are on Medicaid, you are not allowed to purchase this. If you have food stamps and you are caught purchasing this, they're wiped out. They're erased. Like, that's step number one. We'll move on from there. My goodness. I can't get over the pineapple Kool-Aid, guys. I can't. It's just abysmal. It's the worst omen for the future of America I've ever seen. It's like, you want a refreshing summer snack. It's like, just dump a pack of Kool-Aid into a jar of pineapple and enjoy. It's like, watermelon's better. It's great in the summer. Enjoy it. That might went over your head. Let's see, what else do we have? Okay, it doesn't look like there's anything else. Hunter Biden's actually been hilarious on social media in the past couple of days. He actually makes a lot of sense, which is scary coming from a crackhead. Actually horrifying that crackhead Hunter Biden is making more sense than the average politician. Who would have thought? But like I said, you're probably better off being a functional crackhead than eating pineapple Kool-Aid. We're back. We're back. Yeah. That's just fake news. Okay, let's check one more time here. Let's see if anything news popped up. There's an article. It says USA is past the point of no return on national debt. It's like, we're past the point of no return on our culture. But at least the stock market's up, because that's what matters. People are getting diabetes from pineapple and will never pay off their debt. But the stock market's above 50,000, and that's what you should care about, guys. That's truly what you should be caring about. But yeah, that's all the news we have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, the Pineapple Kool-Aid edition. Make sure you're dropping a like, following on Rumble and Kick, subscribing on YouTube, sharing the channel. Really appreciate it. I think we had a record number in here earlier, which was quite surprising for Rumble. So that's pretty neat. I really appreciate you guys for watching, sticking around till the end. But yeah, really good numbers today. I really appreciate it. But we're going to get into the good news. Today we're looking at, which one was it? 2 Timothy. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1 through 9. But it reads, But mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power, having a form of godliness but denying its power, have nothing to do with them. They are the kind who worm their way into homes and gain control over weak-willed women, who are loaded down with sins and are swayed by all kinds of evil desires, always learning but never able to acknowledge the truth. Just as Jannes and Jambres opposed Moses, so also these men oppose the truth, men of depraved minds, who as far as the faith is concerned are rejected. But they will not get very far, because as in the case of those men, their folly will be clear to everyone. I don't like to talk about the end times. I don't. I think that they're outlined really well in here, though, and God has a plan, but our society parallels these end times. I mean, every single descriptor that was listed in verse 2 through, 4, lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. If that is not a description of modern America, I don't know what is. Our country needs to change our ways, guys. I've said it before, I'll say it again because I truly believe it. Save yourself first, and then from there you've got to work out to your family, work out to your friends, your community, and then only then can we fix this country. It starts inside. It starts with fixing these descriptors: without self-control, slanderous, rash, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive. You just got to work from there and move on. What's up, 5 seconds of summer? How's it going, man? But yeah, the only way we're going to save this country is to save ourselves first. There's no other way around it. You're not going to wake up one day and this country has been miraculously healed. We're going to have to acknowledge our issues first. And from there, help others through Christ. Because that's the only way we're going to save this place. Like, this place truly looks like the end times. Men of depraved minds. Is that not our society? Is it not? But yeah, be a leader. Start with yourself. Move outwards. It's the only way to save this country, is first save yourself through Christ. Then after that, you can get to everybody else. But it starts with you. Good man. Truth first. We need Trump to leave first. I don't even know if it matters if he leaves, honestly. What are we going to get if he resigns? Well, we'll get J.D. Vance and his tech bros. I mean, it's not going to help. It won't help at all, unfortunately. It'll be more of the same, possibly even worse. We need first, as a society, to come back to the church, to come back to Christ, and then from there, we'll have a chance. Until then, we're a depraved, sick nation, and I don't see that it can be saved. Like, literally 250 may be the grand finale, which is absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. People worked too hard to build this country to where it was for it to be torn down at this point. Families that have lived here for 10 generations now, probably at least, watching their society collapse. It's like, ask yourself if like your great-great-great-grandfather was here and he was looking at this, what would he think? What would he think about the pineapple Kool-Aid? What would he think that we believe we have to be the global policeman? What would he think that we're fighting wars for other nations on their behalf using our money and our weapons? What would they think? And it's like, they didn't work in a field for their whole lives for this. Surely every generation has tried to leave this place better than the last one, and somehow we have screwed it up deeply over the last 100 years. Somehow. And I'm not even sure, with all the stuff we have these days, we have like cars and trains and iPads, and it's like, how did we screw this up that bad? Like, if you showed your great-great-grandfather an iPad, he'd think it's magic. He'd probably stomp it on the floor and break it. But he'd also be like, wow, y'all went somewhere. Like, there's no hunger anymore and nobody has the work. It's like, no, that's not the case. Actually, we all just turn 18 and go fight in Iran, which is, that's just normal now, great-great-great-grandfather. And he'd be like, you're no longer my removed offspring. Like, you're banished from the family. It's because Trump is a PDF file and Israel just blackmailed him. That's it. I mean, I don't know that you're wrong. I don't think he has a backbone. Anyways, he lost that in the first term. He lost that when he got all upset about January 6th, and then he lost it again when he decided to not give reparations to those who were unjustly imprisoned, tortured, you name it. But yeah, I mean, there is no good explanation for why we fight wars for Israel other than blackmail. And it's like, just come out and say it. That's the easy solution with that. It's like, yes, I'm blackmailed. This is what I did. But we're going to be free from now on. We're going to let everybody know this is what happened. And that way I can no longer be blackmailed over it. It's really easy. It's like, but is your pride in the way of that? Of course it is. Of course he's too prideful to admit that. And it's like, it's probably even worse how his family is tied in with, like, Jeffrey Epstein's banker's daughter now got married like a week ago. You have Ivanka married to Kushner, which Kushner is like not a stand-up guy. They're talking about building a private island off the grid. It's like, what's wrong with where you live? You don't want to live around everybody? You don't want to live around the consequences of your actions? Why not? It's great here. It's great. There's homeless everywhere. They're doing heroin on the street corner. The other dude's fentanyl folded right next to him. It's like, why don't you want to live like this? It's great. Somebody just got mugged down the street for their wallet. It's awesome here. We're having fun. They sell Kool-Aid, pineapple out of a car trunk outside of the Big Lots. Why? What's not to love? What's not to love? Yeah, I think that's where we'll wrap it up for today. I hope everybody enjoyed this episode, the pineapple Kool-Aid episode, because, that's just what it is these days. But yeah, make sure you guys are dropping a like, following, subscribing, sharing. Most importantly, thank you guys for watching. Have you seen anyone from the Epstein files actually get charged with a crime? No, that's because they're all protecting each other. Those with power stay silent because exposing others could expose them. I mean, absolutely. Did you know during the original 6 or 8 indictment of Epstein, there is a clause in there that all of his co-conspirators would not be charged with crimes? Meaning, it says named or unnamed co-conspirators. Meaning, literally, you could just come out possibly and say, no, I was a co-conspirator, and get out of a traffic citation. It's like, well, it was in furtherance of Epstein's crimes, so you're going to have to back off here. Just a sweeping, I guess, not pardon, but clause in there which allow everyone to walk free that was involved indefinitely. It's like, anybody could say it. I could say it. You could say it. Your unborn child can say somehow he was involved in the furtherance of these crimes and get off for anything. I mean, I don't think there was ever any intention to charge the people around it, which is why it looks like such a intelligence operation, is because there was never any intent to charge anyone except for trying to keep people silent. And then you have, one of my neighbors, Palm Beach Pete, walking around these days, and it's like, what happened here? What is this? Why are you running for mayor? Why are you running for mayor? Why do you look a lot like that other guy? Why do you look a lot like the guy that the people in charge of the prison, or at least the person in charge of watching you, said, he may have been snuck out, it seems like it, and replaced? It's like, yeah, we never let somebody out in the middle of the night, but we did make one exemption this one time right before this guy died. Now there's a guy that looks a lot like him walking around in the same town, now running for mayor. It's like nobody was ever intended to be charged. Why is Ghislaine Maxwell on a work camp where there's apparently no fences? She could just walk away. Do we even know she's still there? It's like there was never any intention to charge anyone. The intention was to gather blackmail. And it's not even, I guess if you're Israel, maybe it's being used effectively. But for Americans, it's like, who do we get info on? And why can't we work with this intelligence better? It's like, it shouldn't be hard. You could get Bill Gates and make Microsoft operating system cheaper with blackmail, possibly. It's like, no, the Palantir drones are going to be free. OpenAI is going to be non-profit again, or we expose you. Let's see. Imagine if he started a war just to make people stop talking about the files. Then imagine he released the alien disclosures to distract people that the war wasn't going well. Just imagine. Are you Republican or Democrat? I'm registered as a Republican. Does that mean that I vote as a slave to the Republican factory? No. That is very poor decision making. But yeah. I think we'll end it here. I'll be back live tomorrow, 5 Sauce. If you want to hit the follow, we'll be back at 4:45 tomorrow, hopefully on time, and we can have a little bit more fun with the Epstein files and blackmail, because that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. All signs point to yes, that something has happened to make Trump divert course to serving a foreign nation. I don't know if it's only blackmail. I don't know if he, might have converted religion somewhere along the line. I don't know what it is, but it don't look right. It doesn't smell right, and it doesn't sit right. But yeah, like I said, that's all we have for the day. Make sure you guys are dropping a like, following on Rumble and Kick, subscribing on YouTube. sharing the episode, following on multiple platforms if you'd like. They'll all be up at the end here in a second. Which I thank you guys for sharing the show. Most importantly, thank you guys for sticking around till the end. Today was like real good viewing numbers, so I really appreciate that. You should vote for Democrats this time. Midterms could stop U.S. going into another useless war. You know, you could. You can also just pick who you are going to vote for, because there are some Republicans, like I would be voting in the Florida primary. There's a pretty good governor candidate, if you haven't heard, running, and it's not Byron Donalds, and it's not, I think you know who it is. It's James Fishback. So I will be voting Republican in that I guess, way. Beyond that, I know I'm not voting for any incumbents. It's like, continue this madness. Just like, yeah, you did a good enough job with not getting the SAVE Act passed, not codifying any of the Doge cuts. Like, why would you reward them? Why would you? There's nothing to reward with re-election of them. It's clean house in the primaries, and if you can't, then you can vote Democrat, or you can just leave the box unchecked and just say you can do it without me. I'm not supporting your terrible policy anymore. I'm not rewarding you for backstabbing me and your constituents. But yeah, like I said, we're going to end it here. Hope you all enjoyed. Make sure you're following, subscribing, liking. I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow. Until then, to my people on the East Coast, I hope you get home safe. To my people further west, I hope you finish up your workday strong and get home safe as well. I'll see you guys tomorrow.